Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new channel, a new dawn of Track Titan community racing. And, well, what better place to start it than here in Monaco? Historic Monaco. Racing's happened here since the 1900s, 1920. Everyone knows Monaco. We don't need to go too much into it. But what we've got here is a delight of a race. We are going to be driving 125cc superkarts around Monaco, which is just absolutely balmy in all the ways that I love it. Here it is, a track map of Monaco. Location Monaco. If you didn't guess, it's in the province of Monaco in the south of France. 3.33 kilometers of track, 19 corners here on this beautiful street circuit on the southern coast of France, like I said. We've got plenty of awesome racing to come here today. These karts are surely going to serve up something quite interesting. It's 125cc superkarts. These have got shifter engines, they've got gearboxes. So there's plenty of waft for the drivers to utilise here. We'll see how it goes with the racing. We're in qualifying right now. We've got 8 minutes left of qualifying. And whilst we watch Henry Comsey go around the track here in a fantastic West livery, of course, the liveries all provided by Mr. Ryan Skywalker, who's just coming up onto Henry Comsey now. He creates all the skins each week and does a fantastic job with them. And yes, as I said, let's take a look at the championship standings, because we are coming up on, well, about 3/4 of the way through the championship here in Season 3, and we have a new championship leader. Ryan Skywalker moves to the top of the pack after last week's epic performance. He took home, was it 2 wins? Let's have a look back. Let's double check my maths here. Yes, Ryan Skywalker, took home a win and a 2nd place last week. Of course, Alexander Gray took that stunning win in the 2nd race. But thanks to that win and 2nd place, Ryan does move up to the top of the leaderboard. Max Newt 7 was championship leader for about 5 or 6 weeks in a row. He's dropped down to 2nd position now, but he's still well within shooting range of Ryan Skywalker. Only 6 points separate those at the top. This is another epic season between these two, and it's great to see them fighting it out at the top of the pack once again. But let's not discount Mr. Henry Comsey, sat there in 3rd position. He's making quiet progress, gnawing away at that advantage that Max Newt 7 has over him. Henry took, well, he took a 2nd place and a 5th place last time out. Week before that at the Nordschleife, if you remember rightly, he took a win and a 2nd place. He's bringing that gap down in 3rd position. So let's not count him out towards the end of the season. We'll see how that develops. Season 216 points there, not far off the head of the pack at all. And then here we are, the man in 4th position, Alexander Gray. He's on 135 points, boosted up by that win last week out, and he's moved ahead of Michelle Rodriguez, the traitor, who's left us once again this week. And Dennis Bosman joined Alexander Gray in moving up the positions at the expense of Mr. Michelle in 6th. Peter Jones sticks around in 7th position. He will hopefully be back next week, as he's now back from his holiday. Smells Like We moves up 2 positions into 8th position. Keith Holt dropping down into 10th. Hugh just sticking around there in 9th position. Keith there pushing Sven Gielhold off the leaderboard. He had a iron fist on the leaderboard for a long time, considering his 2 wins early on. But he's finally disappeared off the face of the earth. He's now in 11th position in the championship. And that, well, that doesn't get shown on stream. Only the top 10 get shown on stream. So a very exciting championship in prospect today, as we are here on the 9th race out of 13. So, well, 9th event of 13, So only this event and 3 more remaining. This is going to be an exciting one. We will see how it unfolds and see what kind of championship implications it's got. I'm on my lonesome in the commentary box today because my usual co-commentator, Spitzlam, is out on track causing some chaos. He was driving around in practice and he was just absolutely loving it, and he says he wants to race, and that's his prerogative. So Spitzlam will be out on the circuit, circulating as slow as he likes, and I'm sure he'll be causing some chaos because that's what he's known for, isn't he, the Spitzlaminator? We'll see. Anyway, we'll see. Exciting stuff to come, though. Let's jump on board with Mr. Henry Comsey, and let's see what a lap around this circuit looks like. So here we are, coming down the start-finish straight here into The first corner, steady, away we go. Full throttle up to the max speed of these karts. Braking into Sandevot. No heroics into there as we head right up the hill. Climbing all the way up the hill. Up through Beau Rivage. Underneath the UBS sign, you'll recognise this is decorated for an F1 race. Of course, use the F1 GP circuit. And through the Macedé corner here. Long sweeping left-hander. And then carrying the momentum through into Casino Corner. Moving slightly right there to avoid that tree route that goes underneath the circuit, as you see all the F1 cars doing. And then through into Mirabeau and into the iconic Grand Hotel hairpin. Braking, getting the rotation, and back down the hill once again, turn 7, and through into Portier. Turn 8 at this circuit, round this corner now we go. And into the tunnel. We don't get any typical satellite TV breakup in this stream like you might expect from those old school F1 Monaco hot laps. If you've ever seen them Ayrton Senna hot laps, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And then braking deep into the Nouvelle chicane. Turning left, turning right, powering out of the corner. Oh, and Henry Comsey clips the barrier on the exit there, on the limit. And he spins round. This is going to be a duff lap for him, but we'll carry on board with him. Heading through to back corner here. It's a fast left-hander. That's going to be very interesting when the racing gets underway. And then this quick left-right flick-flack of the Louis Chiron corner, and then into swimming pool. And Henry Comsey is going to pull up here. So we'll jump behind to Mr. El Ripo as he comes through into swimming pool. It's a right, then a left through the chicane, powering round past Henry Comsey there on the left of your screen, into La Rascasse. Braking deep, turning right, getting the power back on, right up to the edge of the track there. Fantastic from El Ripo, using all the circuit available to him. And through the last few corners here at Monaco, and that is a full lap of the iconic Monaco Grand Prix circuit. And we all know what it looks like, we all know what we're going to expect from the circuit. But what we don't know what to expect is what the racing will bring. We'll see how it goes. As we've got all that to look forward to, 2 15-minute races to unfold here in the 125 Superkarts. And as we are circulating and the qualifying positions are starting to take shape, 2 minutes left to qualify. Max New 7 currently is at the head of the pack with a blistering lap time of 1:46.628. That's put him 0.4 of a second up on Henry Comsey. Somebody might say his teammate, his fellow flying Finn, Henry in second position, and these two Finnish drivers clearly knowing how to understand the car. And it's different. It's very different to driving a car, this one. A lot of these drivers are used to sim racing in GT cars, in LMP cars and such like that. These go-karts are quite a lot different. They react differently, and you need to take slightly different lines. You need to keep your momentum up. Not so much in these shifter karts, fortunately for them. Them ungeared, clutch karts that don't have gears, you need to keep them a lot more momentum going. But yeah, fortunately for these drivers, they've got the shifter in this gearbox kart, so they can afford to drop down a little bit more and power out the corner, more similar to how a car does. But nonetheless, the lines are slightly different, as there's a lot less weight in these karts. They can throw it into the corners, they can get through these left-right flip-flacks here without too much of a fuss. Not so much understeer, but definitely squirrely steering. If you've been taking part in the weekly Hot Lap Challenge that goes on the week before each of these races, you'll know this is a very squirrely car to manage. And you turn into some of these corners sometimes, the back end just steps away from you. You need to have your arms all over the shop to correct it, and I suppose that's quite similar to how a regular car does drive. Unfortunately, Tom Jones isn't able to join me today. As much as I wish he would be, he'd be able to recall some of our karting memories together and some of his expert karting knowledge, as he does race in endurance karting. But like I said, unfortunately, unable to join us this time around. So you'll have to put up with my amateur karting takes, my amateur karting hot takes. But they're gonna come aplenty as the clock does tick down to 0, so the drivers are setting their final laps here. Alex Heller smells like we crossed the line. They don't improve on their lap time. Spitzland's heading through into the Nouvelle chicane. He's in 11th position now, a little bit off the pace. He's got a current lap time of over 2:21. That's not a valid lap as far as I'm aware. But still, he's powering around the circuit. It's the old Spitzlaminator. Putting in the effort. It's good to see him out on track again. Here he comes. Through Louis Chiron chicane and into swimming pool. Round the final part of the track here, powering through the corners. Spitzlam doesn't look like he's on the fastest lap of his life. Let's see if he can put in a lap time faster than this 2-minute 5.92 that he put in before. Powering down the DRS straight. If there was a wing on this car, it'd be wide open, but it's not. And that's it for Spitzlam. He's going to improve on his lap time, but it's not going to get him any higher than 11th. And that's all the drivers are going to have to settle for. That's all she wrote. It's Max Newt 7 on pole position. As it turns out, at the end of qualifying, no one able to improve on the flying fin. And he's going to sit there in that Rothmans livery and ponder what's to come into Saint-Devote. No heroics in Saint-Devote once again. Please, this is a plea to the drivers on track. Please, give us a good race. The drivers lining up now. One driver disappearing? No, we're all good. I think we're all good. So, while we wait for the drivers to all connect up and be ready for the racing to commence, we can sit and ponder, and usually I'll go to Spitzlam and ask him who's going to be in the lead by the first corner. And then I can blame him for the commentator's curse. But I don't have that luxury this time around, so I'm going to have to commentator's curse someone myself. And, well, if I'm going to take an educated guess here, it's going to be Max Newt 7 into the first corner. These karts don't get off the line quite like cars do. I think it's harder to mess up the start in these karts, and I think that a lot of it was down to qualifying. It's hard enough to pass around this circuit. It's narrow in a car. It's not so narrow in these karts, but it doesn't lend itself to overtaking. There's not a lot of hard accelerating and deep braking. But nonetheless, we move on. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, I believe it'll be Max Newt 7 into the first corner. We'll see how that goes. Once again, I don't want to make too many judgments because he could have a terrible start, but he's starting on the front row. Alongside him, well, just behind him there, is Henry Cumsey in second position. Ryan Skywalker's in third. El Rippo is in fourth. Smells Like Weed's in fifth. Keith Holt in sixth. Baby Skywalker in seventh. Alex Heller in eighth. Then it's Bathtub and Spitzlam to round out the grid, I believe. 6 red lights go on for the drivers on the grid. Someone's going to jump start there. That's Bathtub in the lead by the first corner. No one saw that one coming. That's going to be a jump start penalty for him, unfortunately. Max Newt 7 powers round. He's into the first corner now, braking deep, and he's held onto that lead very, very well. The driver's filtering through very cleanly. It is indeed. It's El Rippo up into 4th position, ahead of Ryan Skywalker. Ryan Skywalker has dropped down into 5th, but he's coming back at El Rippo now, fighting back on the Austrian driver. He's not going to allow him to get away from it too quickly. El Rippo defending his lines there through Casino Corner. Oh, bit of a graphical thing there for us there. Smells Like We rounding at the back of the grid as he comes down. Baby Skywalker looking to make a move on Alex Heller. Jumps down the inside and secures the move, but Alex Heller fights back fantastically. Keith Holt round the outside. Let's look at the front because it's very close. Up at the front, Max Newt 7 making his way past Bathtub, the jump starter. He's going to have to come into the pits very soon. Oh, and he goes right into the wall, crashes out. Oh, Max Newt 7 goes into the wall around, crashes into Henry Cumsey. Ryan Skywalker moves through into first position. Thanks to all the chaos caused by Bathtub, the jump starter, Max Newt 7 has dropped down in second position. El Rippo in third position, and Henry Cumsey down into 5th. What a camera angle that is. Come on, boys. Anyway, braking deep, El Rippo makes the move on that Max Newt 7. Fantastic, picture-perfect move into the Nouvelle Chicane from El Rippo there. He's up into second position ahead of the flying fin. Oh, Max is once again in the wall, spinning out. He's going to try and rejoin the circuit as safely as he possibly can, but he's dropping down the order like a ton of bricks. Brian Skywalker leading this race once again. El Rippo in second position. Bathtub now in third position. He's managed to recover well, but he's had the jump start. Let's not forget that, so he won't be there for very long. Henry Cumsey, after that incident with Max Newt 7 and Bathtub, he is down in 4th position and fighting for his life ahead of Keith Holt, who's absolutely handling this car fantastically, it must be said. Keith, not someone who's usually up in those positions. Oh, and El Rippo's round. El Rippo's round out of the final corner. He's dropping down the order. He's going side by side with Alex Heller here, and Alex Heller is through on El Rippo. Mad Bull now coming up behind them. He's not going to be able to make the move quite yet, though, as they go through Saint-Devote now. Alex Heller into 5th position. El Rippo now down in 6th. Oh, and Alex Heller's into the wall. Le Bandit, the Dark Carter, goes round. He's into the wall. He's going to rejoin the circuit very safely. Well done, Alex. Great rejoin there. Drops down into 10th position, but does very well to rejoin safely, which is always commendable. Bathtub still circulating despite his jump start. He's going to have to come into the pits at the end of, I think, the 3rd lap at the latest. And he's defending. He's defending from Henry Cumsey, and Henry Cumsey sends him round. But that's slowed them both down. And now Keith Holt arrives in the scene, and all this battling's allowing Ryan Skywalker to run away with it. And this is exactly not what Henry Comsey wants to see. He wants to see that first place, that checkered flag fall right in front of him and claim all the points he possibly can to close up that gap to Max 7 ahead of him in the championship. But right now, the man with a bit between his teeth is Ryan Skywalker. Flying at the front of the pack, ahead of Bathtub. 5 seconds the gap now. Surely that's not somewhere you can come back from for Henry Comsey, as he's looking to go around the outside of Nouvelle Chicane with Bathtub, breaking deep, trying to get the switch back. Bathtub outbreaks himself, goes too deep into the corner, rejoins the circuit very dodgily. Henry Comsey still staying behind him, getting in a slipstream through to back. They go foot to the floor, keeping the power in, keeping the momentum up through the Louis Chiron chicane. Oh, and Bathtub still in the way of Henry Comsey. He's just unable to find a way past, going to prove how hard it is to pass at this Monaco circuit, even in a kart. Through they come now into La Rascasse, the final few corners on the circuit, breaking deep, powering out the corner, using all the track available. Bathtub into the pits to serve his jump start penalty, and that does promote Henry Comsey up in second position. But this man, Keith Holt, is now well and truly on the scene, and he's starting to threaten Henry Comsey for this podium finish. The first podium finish it would be for Keith Holt in this season. As he moves to the outside of Henry Comsey, off Sander Vogt, breaking deep, trying to get the switch back, but he just doesn't get the power to go up the hill and get past Henry Comsey. Ryan Skywalker's going slowly. What's happened to Ryan Skywalker? He's going very slowly. He's slowed right down out of Sander Vogt, and he must have had an incident. He's back up to speed now behind Keith Holt, but Keith Holt promoted up into second position, doing fantastically, the Austrian driver here. But now Henry Comsey's in first position, and I said that's exactly what he wants to do. He wants to see the checkered flag fall first, and he's currently on track to do that, whilst Ryan Skywalker looks at the inside and makes a clean move on Keith Holt. Keith Holt, absolutely no answers to that whatsoever. He's going to drop down into third position, and now he's got to look in his mirrors because he's got to worry about El Ripper behind. Max 7, he's moved up 2 positions in one corner, breaking into the hairpin. He's past Bathtub, he's past Mad Bull, and he's past Smells Like Wee. Fantastic move from the Flying Finn, going down the hill once again underneath the tunnel. And this is a fantastic 4-car battle here. From 5th all the way down to 8th, Mad Bull got a bit of oversteer out the corner there. And he's going to have to make do with 8th position for now. So now it's a 3-car battle between Smells Like Wee, Bathtub, and Max 7. Let's jump on board with Bathtub now, as he's looking for a way past the Finnish driver. He looks up the inside of Nouvelle Chicane, breaks deep. Oh, goes round! Bathtub flips the kart! He flips 3 times, gets back on his feet. Mad Bull still behind Bathtub, but not for long. And that's the kind of margins that we're working with here at Monaco. Those curbs are not designed for karts. Those are car curbs. You get on one of them, the kart is going to go over. There's no suspension in these bad boys. And Bathtub takes a life-threatening flip. And he rejoins safely, now fighting with Mad Bull for 8th position. Through on Mad Bull, actually, for 7th position. Fantastic move from Bathtub there around the outside of La Rascasse. The Hungarian driver on a storm here after his jump start. Up at the front of the pack, Keith Holt is not letting Ryan Skywalker get away with it. He's staying in 3rd position for now. Ryan Skywalker in 2nd position. And Ryan is unable to clear away from Keith Holt nor catch up to Henry Comsey at the rate that he wants to. There's just under 9 minutes in a lap of this race remaining. And so there's plenty of time for Ryan Skywalker to make the move happen. If he wants to make the move happen, and he now is putting the foot down, you can see the times changing. Behind Keith Holt on your screen, Max 7 has managed to get himself past El Rippo here. He's on a fight-back charge after he was involved in an incident with Bathtub in this corner here, and then also got into an incident out of the Nouvelle Chicane of his own accord. But he is on a fight-back now. We know he's got the pace. He qualified on pole. He knows how to drive these karts, and now Keith Holt needs to be looking behind him, because a charging Max 7 is not someone you want behind you, and Keith is surely going to fall into his welcome arms very soon. We'll see. As it develops, 8 minutes remaining, plenty of time for change, plenty of time for some accidents, and, well, the thin margins that we're working with these karts, as we've seen, can make all the difference. But as it stands, Henry Comsey still leading this race. Max 7 closing up the gaps to Keith Holt. Let's jump on board with him and watch what kind of lines he's doing. Look how smooth he is with the steering. Throwing the car into them corners. Keith Holt gets a bit of oversteer out of the swimming pool corner. Max 7 looks to the inside of La Rascasse, breaking deep through on Keith Holt into La Rascasse. Taking advantage of a little mistake from Keith Holt there, but that's all he needs, does Max 7. He's got the eye of the tiger. He's through on Keith Holt for 3rd position, and that maiden podium finish for Keith Holt this season slips out of his grasp. but he won't be too upset with 4th position as he currently is sat 10th in the standings. So these points are all valuable as he battles away with those at the outer reaches of the top 10. And so this is the closest battle on your screens right now. Keith Holt still battling away with El Ripo. It's Austrian on Austrian on track here at Monaco in the 125 Superkarts. Going down into Mirabeau, down the hill into the hairpin once again. Keith Holt trying to keep the gap between himself and El Ripo clean, but he's just not managing it. He's getting a little bit of oversteer through these corners, and he's going to have to keep to his lines and try and hold on to this 4th position if El Ripo... Unless El Ripo's got anything to say about it, and he does. Where's this speed come from El Ripo? He makes the move on Keith Holt in the tunnel, and that's not a move you're going to see done often in these 125 Superkarts, and that's a fantastic move from El Ripo there. Up into 4th position, past Keith Holt. Keith now down in 5th position and dropping like a ton of bricks in the standings. Fortunately for him, Smells Like Wheat is a little way off, 3.5 seconds. And Smells Like Wheat is one of his championship rivals as he battles with him for 10th position. But Keith, I tell you what, has not letting El Ripo get away with it. Maybe the slipstream is quite advantageous in this kart, because coming through Swim Pool, Keith is not allowing El Ripo to run away with it. Through La Rascasse now, on board with Keith Holt, seeing what kind of moves he can make, what kind of things he can learn from El Ripo. And if you can see where El Ripo is going to make a mistake and he can make a move on him. But it looks like El Ripo just had the smoother line through that last corner. Ryan Skywalker before the race was talking to me about how some of the drivers need to take interesting lines because of not only track limits, but because of these karts being so small and so twitchy. They need to take very interesting lines and avoid certain parts of the track, and this might be why you see these drivers taking some unconventional lines, in addition to them being karts, which means that they're going to take slightly different lines to what you'd see in a normal car. But Keith Holt still unable to find a way past El Ripo, and this gap looks like it is only going to get bigger unless El Ripo makes a mistake, and I think that's what we're going to wait for now. Quite frankly, I think that's the way that these drivers are going to make their moves. They're going to be waiting for someone else to make a mistake. They're going to be sitting there, rubbing their hands and wishing nothing but the worst on their compadres on the circuit here, hoping that they get into an incident so that they can move through, because as we know, Monaco is a hard enough place to pass on, as demonstrated by Henry Comsey earlier in this race. The gap between El Ripo and Keith Holt is widening. It's now over a second, but there is one gap that is not widening, and that is this one. Max Newt 7 closing up the gap to Ryan Skywalker. Ryan must have had an incident in the Nouvelle Chicane. They must have had a bit of oversteer because he is dropping back to the finish driver here. Max Newt 7 sticking behind him underneath his exhaust fumes. Looks to the inside, a pulled corner. Breaks deep. Thinks better of it. Backs out of the move. He's going to make the move elsewhere. Potentially into La Rascasse as he moves to the outside and through on Ryan Skywalker. Oh, but Ryan Skywalker breaks deep. Big lock of oversteer there. And Ryan Skywalker, in desperation, holds on to second position. But for how long? And now Henry Combs is on the scene as well. He's not far up the road. All this battling could drop them back, though. We'll see how it goes. Down the start-finish straight. Ryan Skywalker and Max 7 side by side into Saint-Devote. Who's going to break last? It's going to be Ryan Skywalker. He's going to hold onto this lead. But Max 7's got the better line. Oh, and they collide. They come together. Ryan Skywalker has gone well round there. He's dropping right down the order. El Ripo now on the scene. He could potentially make a move on one of these two drivers. And Max 7 definitely came off that incident for the better. The Marshals are going to be having another look at that after the race, no doubt about it. But those two drivers there fighting at the head of the championship, and it's all come to blows. Ryan Skywalker now in third position. He's going to have the utmost steely determination to get back past Max 7, his championship rival, surely. Coming down into Mirabeau. Towards the hairpin once again. Ryan Skywalker sticking behind Max 7, just trying to learn his lines, trying to figure out where he's going to go wrong. The answer, nowhere. Max 7 does not make mistakes. We know this. 2 minutes 55 remaining in this race. And another lap for these drivers in the 125 shifters. And what a fantastic race this has been. We've had more exciting ones, but in terms of championship connotations, this is going to be an interesting one as Max 7 moves past Ryan Skywalker in, I'm going to call them controversial circumstances for now. We didn't get the best view of that from the TV cameras here. But from what it looked like Ryan Skywalker lost a bit of time through the corner, came back on the track. Max 7 bumped into the back of him. Ryan Skywalker was in the wall. Max 7 carried on as normal. It's up to the marshals to decide who's at fault for that one. And as we know, after the race, the marshals meet to discuss the incidents and hand out penalties, and they are awarded in points penalties, not time penalties. So they're a lot more strict at the penalties in the Track Times Community Race Series than a time penalty might be. Because if, for example, Henry Comsey was to get a time penalty right now, he'd probably only drop back to 3rd position because of the incredible gap he's got out at the front of this race. 3 seconds over Max 7, in 2nd position. He's flying up at the front of the pack, and he's going to be very happy to have looked in his mirrors and seen Ryan Skywalker sideways and Max 7 likewise almost upside down going through Sandy Vault they were. And with 1.5 minutes and a lap remaining, Henry Comsey is surely going to hold on this lead to the end of the race. If I don't want to curse him too much with the commentator's curse, Andy McEwen has given me plenty of tips when it comes to commentators cursing. For all those that don't understand that reference, that's a reference to a TCR UK race recently where Andy McEwen decided to say that Adam Shepherd might have expected something to go wrong on the last corner, and it did, because he's tyre popped. If you haven't already gone and checked that out, have a look on I think it's on Twitter or YouTube. Andy McEwen curses Adam Shepherd, but that's beside the point. That's not on track, but I'm just getting distracted here. Let's get back to the action on track. Smells Like Wheat is close behind Keith Holt. Keith Holt was up in 2nd position momentarily before, and he's dropping down the order steadily. 4 seconds in the lap remaining. That's going to be 2 more laps for these drivers more than likely. Smells Like Wheat looking for a way past Keith Holt here. He's got the gap down underneath a second. And he's looking to get that gap down even more on Keith Holt, the Austrian driver ahead of him. Coming through Louis Chiron chicane into Pool corner. And into the Piscine chicane, if you will. I'm not nearly French enough to pronounce these things rightly, but I won't butcher the pronunciation as much as I used to butcher Eric Shimandera's Mad Bull through on Baby Skywalker. Off the cameras there. Baby Skywalker going slowly out of the Nouvelle chicane. That's almost definitely an incident for Baby Skywalker there. He must have had a little bit of a spin or went into the barriers there, because Mad Bull moved through without too much of a fuss at all, and he's now into 8th position and into the wall. Rejoins cleanly and still is ahead of Baby Skywalker. After puts in his fastest lap time of the day. The gap at the front is coming down. It's really coming down. It's coming down by the 10th every single second. This is incredible from Max 7. Where has this pace come from? I mean, we know where the pace has come from. He was started on pole position. But Henry Comsey, where has his pace gone? They're coming to the hairpin now, and the gap is now underneath 0.6 of a second. Max 7 has managed to get this gap down fantastically. The flying Finn really is flying. Here, coming through underneath the tunnel here at Monaco, and he's looking for a way past Henry Comsey ahead of him, and it's not going to be easy. We know that Henry's a fast driver, but Henry has really dropped the pace, and Max 7 has brought this gap down. Well, he's brought the gap down from 6th to 2nd position, quite frankly, potentially into 1st soon, but just in the last lap alone, he's brought this gap down from 1.5 seconds to 0.3 of a second, and look at the overspeed that he's got on Henry Comsey here, coming through into the back. Can he carry this speed through into the Louis Chiron chicane? We'll go jump on board with Max 7. Oh, he bumps Henry Comsey there. He has a sniff to the inside of Pool. Gets a lockup. Oh, almost goes round. Max 7 trying to make the move on Henry Comsey there. Nearly goes for a spin, and this gap has now extended out to 1.7 seconds. And Ryan Skywalker is on the scene. He's looking to the outside of La Rascasse. He's going to try and get the switch back on the inside of Max 7 through the final few corners, but it's not going to happen this time around. Max 7 holding on to this 2nd position for now. Ryan Skywalker, though, gets a fantastic line out of the final few corners. He's all over the exhaust streams of Max 7, and they're side by side down the start-finish straight here underneath the Tag Heuer banners. Ryan Skywalker is ahead before Sandy Bott. He breaks deep. He moves through. He's into 2nd position. The South African driver moves up, but Max 7 has got a fantastic bit of overspeed coming up the hill, and they're still side by side coming through Beau Rivage, and this is amazing driving from these two drivers up at the head of the championship. And what kind of championship connotations will this have? Max 7 is ahead. He's behind. He's ahead. He's on the inside of Massenet coming through Casino. Ryan Skywalker holds on 2nd position. What a fantastic lap battle there is between these two talented drivers. Ryan Skywalker defends to the inside of Mirabeau, breaking deep, locking up his brakes. Max 7 looking to the inside of hairpin. He's going to break deep. He's going to get on the inside line. Ryan Skywalker, tries to get the switch back, but collides with Max 7. And it slows him down royally. Max 7 holding to that 2nd position. Ryan Skywalker now in 3rd, and he's got all the work to do if he wants to pass Max 7 and hold on to this championship lead. There's only 6 points between these two drivers, and that 6 points is within these positions here. Through the tunnel they go. Ryan Skywalker holding on behind Max 7, trying to get any slipstream he can, but he's 5/10 of a second behind. He's got to brake so deep and get his line so perfect if he wants to claw back a second place finish in this first race. But of course, there's a reverse grid to come. He's going to start ahead of Max 7 if it finishes as it is right now. Looks like, smells like we, I think it was, got past Keith Holt as we saw on the timing tower, but we've focused on this battle up at the front. And while it all came to blows right at the end there, Max 7 looking for a way through, and Henry Comsey locked up into the piscine. Ryan Skywalker arrived in the scene. We had a fantastic battle for half a lap, but Ryan Skywalker is just unable to provide the answers. But he's so close to Max 7. Can he make a move in the final few corners? He's going to look to do it. Henry Comsey holding on to this lead to the line. He's going to come down the start-finish line. He's going to cross the line. Henry Comsey is your race winner, but they're side-by-side. Max 7 and Ryan Skywalker. Oh, and they come together on the start-finish line, and that is a collateral incident. Ryan Skywalker so nearly got past Max 7 on the line there. That must have been 1/100th of a second between the pair of them. But Max 7 holds out to the line. Ryan Skywalker in third position. El Ripo finishes in fourth. That's a great finish for the Austrian driver there. Smells like we in fifth. Keith Holt in sixth. Bathtub in seventh. It's going to be Mad Bull in eighth position. If he comes around these final few corners safely, then it's Baby Skywalker, Spitz Laminator, and Alex Heller rounding out the 11 drivers. What a finish that was up at the head of the pack. And what a finish that was in terms of the championship. Like I said, we had another incident before between those two drivers. And they came to blows. We'll see what the stewards think of that. We'll see what the stewards make of the driving in the last lap. But I don't think there was anything untowards in that final lap. That was just great driving from two very talented drivers. And it was so nearly Ryan's on the line. But he just missed out on the line. Max 7 held onto it as we watch Baby Skywalker come across the line. Like I said there. I've said the line too many times. But what a finish that was. Wow, fantastic stuff. Spitz Laminator crosses in 10th position. And then Alex Heller, your last driver on the grid, is going to finish this race for everyone. The French driver crosses the line and takes home no points today, but he is going to start the second race on the pole position. And here we go. On to the second race. We'll take a quick break from commentary here as we watch the drivers grid up here. Alex Heller on pole position. And about 2 minutes to go. And we'll take a quick break from commentary for 1 minute. We're back with you here at Monaco in the 125 Superkarts, and what a race we've just had. Ryan Skywalker and Max 7 battling out to the line. Both drivers happy by the looks of it. Ryan Skywalker, that was insane, he says in the chat. Yes, it was, Ryan. That was an incredible battle between the two championship protagonists once again. But the big winner in that race was definitely Henry Comsey, taking home the win by the skin of his teeth. And closing up that gap to Max 7 and Henry Comsey, little by little, he's definitely not out of the championship. He's definitely not out of the championship. The maximum possible points these drivers can score currently, with drop rounds, the advantage lies in Ryan's favour. But between Max 7 and Henry Comsey, it lies in Henry's favour. We'll see how they get on this race. Alex Heller's going to start from pole, Spitz Laminator alongside him. That's going to be chaos. 6 red lights for the 11 drivers on the grid. The engine notes rise. The lights go out and away we go. And wow, what a launch that was from the third row of the grid. Alex Heller leading into the first corner still. Spitz Laminator filtering behind him. Alex Heller gets a bit of oversteer. Spitz Laminator's coming up on beside him. He's almost ahead as Baby Skywalker gets involved as well in this battle for the lead. Coming up Beau Rivage, they come up the hill through Massenet. Spitz Laminator holding on to this second position for now. Baby Skywalker in third, Battle in fourth, Mad Bull in fifth. Henry Comsey, Ryan Skywalker still at the back of the pack. Max 7 has really moved through the grid. He's in sixth position. This is a fantastic four-way battle. Coming down the hill into Mirabeau. Who's going to be in the lead by the end of this corner? It can never be told. Someone notices the wall. Baby Skywalker's in the wall. He's rejoining the circuit. Ryan Skywalker's in the wall. Bathtub up the inside of Alex Heller. Alex Heller in second position. There's another driver in the wall. Is that Spitz Laminator? It is. Baby Skywalker's round as well. Spitz Laminator's stuck. Max Bathtub is also... Sorry. That is Mad Bull stuck on the hairpin there. But Bathtub is in the lead once again. He loves to lead in the first lap this time round, but this time it's legitimate. He didn't start. He didn't jump the start. Coming through the tunnel they come. Max New 7 is in third position, and that's fantastic driving from the Finnish driver there to get all the way from second to last to third in one lap, half a lap even. Bathtub now leading this race. Alex Heller gets a little bit of a mistake through the Nouvelle chicane. Max New 7 is alongside. I need to head before tobacco has even begun. Is Alex Heller going to be able to hold on to this position through the corner? No, he's not. The Dark Carter stops it. Oh, but Max New 7's in the wall. Max New 7 gets a bit of oversteer there through Tabak. He's in the wall, he's round, he's created a bunch of smoke, and now he's in the way of Ryan Skywalker, and these two are going at it again. There's another driver backwards. That's El Ripo, Ryan Skywalker, massive oversteer, and it's your 3 championship contenders battling once again for 5th position. Henry Comsey on the outside, Ryan Skywalker up the inside of Henry Comsey there. Henry Comsey unable to hold on to that position, and he's dropped down 2 positions. He's now behind a pair of Max 7 and Ryan Skywalker, and Max 7 up the inside of the second to last corner there on Ryan Skywalker. Bathtub is back ahead of Alex Heller before the first corner's even begun, and he's in the lead of this race. But, well, when it comes down to the championship, there's no bigger battle than this one. Keith Holt leads Max 7, Ryan Skywalker. Oh, Keith Holt gets bumped into by Max 7, and now Ryan Skywalker is well and truly on the scene. He's gained a bunch of time on Max New because he slowed down with that incident between himself and Keith Holt 7. Excuse me, just Keith Holt. Oh, and Ryan Skywalker collides with Henry Comsey. Ryan Skywalker nearly round there. He's lost a ton of time. But he's almost immediately caught that up. He's on the back of Max 7 once again. Keith Holt is dicing between the championship, and Henry Comsey is leading this battle round Mirabeau. Down the hill once again, through the hairpin. Oh, dear me. I'm going to have a stitch by the end of this race. This is crazy racing. Ryan Skywalker trying to find a way past Keith Holt. Max 7 trying to find a way past Henry Comsey. And that's the move there. Lick the stamp and sent it as smooth as you like into towards the tunnel. Max 7 into 4th position. What a fantastic move that was from the Flying Finn on his Finnish brethren. Up at the head of the pack, Bathtub is leading. Smells Like We is very close behind Alex Heller coming into the Nouvelle chicane. Oof. I need a moment. What a fantastic first few laps this has been between these drivers in the 125 Superkarts. Ryan Skywalker. Oh, he's had an incident in the Nouvelle chicane. He's dropping down the order. He's in 8th position behind El Ripo now. What a shame for Ryan Skywalker there. Spitz Laminator. Oh, the Spitz laminates. Mad Bull. And he gets into Baby Skywalker as well. Oh, dear me. You couldn't write it. He's back at it. Spitz Laminator. You could write it, actually. You could write exactly that. You could have predicted that was going to happen before the race. Anyway, Bathtub sets the fastest lap of the race so far. Smells Like We gets himself alongside Alex Heller. He's going to get himself through before Sandy Bott. And Alex Heller's got absolutely no answers to that whatsoever. He gets a little bit oversteer coming through the corner, and he's going to drop down to 3rd position and potentially into 4th very shortly because Max 7 has got a lot of oversteer on him. Coming up the hill. Beau Rivage. Look at the speed that Max 7's got on Alex Heller here. He's going to look to make a move through, potentially into Casino Corner here. Gets the switch back on Alex Heller. Smooth as you like. Max 7 through on Alex Heller. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture-perfect example of how to make a move into Casino Corner. And now, Henry Comsey arrives on the scene with Alex Heller. Gets up the inside of the hairpin and is through as clean as you like. That's the advantage of these carts being so small. You can make moves like that in the hairpin and not just get stuck in a traffic jam like them Formula Regional did at Monaco. I'm not sure if anyone saw that back this year, earlier this year when they were at Monaco. As we look at Max 7 and Smells Like We going side by side. Max 7 is going to look to make a move into the Nouvelle chicane, but yes, the Formula Regionals got stuck in the hairpin at Monaco because even those Formula 4 generation cars can't make it round the hairpin if one of them gets stuck. That was a fun one to take a look at the time it happened. Plenty of fantastic memories around here at Monaco for all motorsport fans. Max 7 through on Smells Like We as clean as you like through Louis Chiron chicane. Oh, gets a little bit of oversteer coming into the pool corner there, but that's not here nor there. He holds in 2nd position. Smells Like We in 3rd, and Henry Comsey definitely on the scene behind Smells Like We, looking to make a move sometime soon. Alex Heller gets a bit of oversteer coming through La Rascas, and Keith Holt arrived very close behind him. And let's take a look at this man, Ryan Skywalker, on your screens now. All over the shop. Ryan spins in the second to last corner. And well, how far we've fallen. He was in 3rd position before. He's in 8th position now in this race, and he's having an absolutely torrid time. But it's not unheard of to move back up to the podium positions from this spot. Of course, Maxi 7 dropped down into 8th and got himself back up into 3rd. Keith Holt going very slowly there. What's up with that? Keith Holt down into 8th. Ryan Skywalker, well, thank you very much. He'll take that position away from you. And he's now got 8 seconds to close up to the guy ahead of him, El Rippo, who's currently in Casino Corner. Henry Comsey on Smells Like We, duking it out. Bathtub and Maxi 7 duking it out. And, well, Smells Like We's dropped down the order. He must have had an incident. But now it's a 3-way battle for first. Bathtub, Henry Comsey, Max Newt 7, all line astern coming into the tunnel. Max Newt 7 collided with Bathtub there, coming through the hairpin. That slowed him down, and it's allowed Henry Comsey to get up to the back of them and get up alongside them. And this is Henry Comsey on the inside of the Nouvelle Chicane. Bathtub clinging on to the lead of this race. Henry Comsey not quite got the overspeed. Max Newt 7 carrying more through the tunnel there. And they're going to power out of the Nouvelle Chicane. And Bathtub is not going to be able to hold on to this lead for much longer, surely, because Henry Comsey and Max Newt 7 are both almost alongside him into the back. Bathtub holds the inside line, crashes into the wall, gets a lot of oversteer there. Oh, does very well to keep himself away from both Max Newt 7 and Henry Comsey. And now it's a fin by fin battle up at the lead of this pack. And Bathtub, what on earth are you doing? Bathtub goes over the chicane, collides with Henry Comsey. And Henry Comsey rejoins safely, but he's now in 6th position, and that is a controversial move from Bathtub there. That's surely going to be taken a look at after this race is done. And that's a real shame for Henry Comsey, running in 2nd position before he got clattered out the way by Bathtub. Bathtub now just over a second between himself and Max Newt 7. Sorry, just over 2 seconds between himself and Max Newt 7. At the lead of this pack, and with 7 minutes remaining, there's still plenty of life left in this race, but Max Newt 7 is surely going to run away with this one. At the lead of the pack, there's no way this man's going to drop it. We know what he's like. We know what kind of mistakes he doesn't make. El Rippo, Smells Like We, side by side through Beau Rivage, going up through Massenet, powering through the corners into Casino Corner. El Rippo on the inside line, Smells Like We on the outside line. Oh, they bash together, drop nose cone, surely. But Smells Like We there. But he's going to slow down a little bit, and he's down in 5th position now, El Rippo. Through into 4th. Or was he in 4th already? I'm losing track of where the drivers are. There's just a lot going on. Henry Comsey behind these two drivers in 6th position, and that does make it quite interesting between Henry Comsey and Ryan Skywalker, because Henry Comsey is now 6th position and Ryan Skywalker is in 7th. Let's see what the points connotations of that are after this race. Nonetheless, we carry on as we are. Alex Heller must have had an incident in the tunnel there, because he's dropping down the order once again. Him and El Rippo going side by side into the Nouvelle Chicane for 3rd position. El Rippo clatters into Alex Heller. Now Smells Like We's on the scene, and it smells like we're going to take the pair of them. Nearly does. Alex Heller gets in the power quite well there. El Rippo struggling to get the power down without oversteering. And now it's a battle between Alex Heller and Smells Like We. And the Dark Carter himself is in 3rd position, trying to hold him to this podium. But Smells Like We is smelling more than we. He's smelling exhaust fumes. Oh, but he's into the wall with a little bit of touching the curb there. En Piscine. Through La Rascasse they come. Locking up his brakes, and this is all terrible stuff from Smells Like We. If he wants to try and take this podium away from Alex Heller, he's going to have to get his act together very, very sharply. Especially because now Henry Comsey and Ryan Skywalker have arrived. The titans of this Track Titan Community Race Series. They are on the scene. El Rippo side by side with Henry Comsey. Henry Comsey is ahead, but he's behind. He's braking a bit earlier than El Rippo, and he's done that to get the switch back on him, and he's got a lot of speed coming up the hill. He gets behind him, gets a little bit of slipstream. Powering up the hill they go, side by side still. Henry Comsey and El Rippo in through Beau Rivage into Massenet Corner. Henry Comsey and El Rippo still side by side, but Henry Comsey's forced into the wall, and he's lost a bit of time. And now here comes Ryan Skywalker, the South African driver, looking for a way past his Finnish compadre down into Mirabeau. Oh, Ryan Skywalker gets a little bit of oversteer there. He drops down to a little bit of time to Henry Comsey. Henry Comsey's going to hold in 6th position for a little while longer as he starts his battle to get past El Rippo once again. But El Rippo's not a slow driver, we know this, and he's not going to make it easy for these two behind him. Alex Heller is potentially going to make it easy for them as he oversteers. Oh, it smells like we oversteers even more. And now he's going to rejoin this battle, and he's going to rejoin, slot in just ahead of Ryan Skywalker, and that makes it a lot more complicated for Ryan Skywalker now. He's got another driver to clear before he even gets onto the back of Henry Comsey, which is not what he wants to see, as he he looks to defend his championship lead. El Rippo through an Alex Heller there. Not too much fuss. Henry Comsey colliding with Alex Heller through the Nouvelle chicane. And that's dropped him right up to the back of Smells Like Wheat and Ryan Skywalker. And it's 4 carts coming into the back. They're 2 wide going into the back. This is fantastic. Alex Heller's round. Alex Heller's well and truly round. Ryan Skywalker's upside down. Oh my goodness me. Henry Comsey's round. Alex Heller's round. Smells Like Wheat's round. Ryan Skywalker is upside down. And he's in the pits. He's rejoining the circuit. Ryan Skywalker is in the pits. He's had to return to the pits after that incident. And he rejoins... not sure whether that's in... I think that is in 10th position. Yes, he will have been put a lap down, not a lap up, as the timing tower might suggest. Oh, and that's heartbreaking for Ryan Skywalker there. An incident that wasn't his fault at all. Right, Henry Comsey trying to make a move on Alex Heller. Smells Like Wheat getting involved as well. Ryan Skywalker, the unfortunate victim. He wasn't even a part of that overtake, and he just dropped down the order, and now he's at the back of the pack. And this is absolute heartbreak for our current championship leader. He's surely going to drop out of the lead of the championship after this race. He said this wasn't going to be a good one for him. He wasn't keen on it. Let's hope he gets a bit of better luck next time out. Henry Comsey has got himself past Keith Holt. He's starting his charge back through the order after that crazy incident between himself, Smells Like Wheat, and Alex Heller. Alex Heller holds onto that 4th position for a little while longer, but Smells Like Wheat is well and truly going to surely get his revenge very shortly. Through Mirabeau they come in towards the hairpin once again. Just under 3 minutes to go in this reverse grid race. And, well, the racing has not quite been the same level as the first race, but there's been ample amounts of chaos between these drivers. It Smells Like Wheat looks at the inside of the tunnel. He's trying to get a little bit of strip stream behind Alex Heller here. How hard is the dark car going to make it for him? Very hard, it turns out. He's defending as with all of his might coming into the Nouvelle chicane. He's going to hold onto this 4th position for a little while longer as he breaks deep, gets all over the curbs, loses a lot of time. Smells Like Wheat now coming through. Henry Comsey now on the back of the pair of them, and Henry Comsey alongside Smells Like Wheat. Oh, but he collides with him, goes into the wall, doesn't lose too much time, and now it's still this 3-car battle it was last lap round, and it doesn't end in tears this time. Oh, but it does! Oh, but it does! Alex Heller round once again of his own accord, and he's crashed into Smells Like Wheat and Henry Comsey, and for the 2nd lap in a row, Henry Comsey and Smells Like Wheat have come to blows with Alex Heller into back corner. This can't keep happening to these drivers. This is so unfair. Smells Like Wheat in 2nd position, Alex Heller holding on to 5th position. Sorry, dropping back behind Keith Holt for 5th position. Keith Holt up to 4th position, and Henry Comsey now in 6th, and he's going to have to try and find a way past Alex Heller, but he's going to have to try and find a way past in a corner other than to back, because that is clearly not where the move is going to be made, because this is just tragic to see for these drivers that are trying to get as many points as they can, and it's just unfortunate for these drivers out on track. Very hard carts to control, these 125 Superkarts, so I completely understand what's happened to Alex Heller there. Just an honest mistake, but an honest mistake that's cost Henry Comsey and Smells Like Wheat. Well, that's calmed down things a bit. We'll watch Henry Comsey try and find his way past Alex Heller. But let's take everything into account. Have a think about what's going on. Henry Comsey up the inside of Alex Heller into the hairpin. Alex Heller trying to defend, but Henry Comsey saying no thank you. Bullying his way through into the hairpin. And, well, he can't say no to that. Alex Heller drops down to 6th position. Henry Comsey into 5th position. Now he's going to try and hunt down Keith Holt for that 4th and potentially 3rd from Bathtub, but with only 43 seconds in the lap to go. Might be off the cards. But, yes, let's take in what's happened in this race. There's been plenty of chaos up and down the grid. There's been 2 incidents into the back corner on consecutive laps for this driver here, Henry Comsey. One of them saw us lose a driver. Ryan Skywalker out of the race now entirely. He's retired and DNF'd. He didn't see a point in continuing. But the man of the day, the man of this race, the driver of this race, indeed, Max Newt 7. In fact, you know what? He's going to have my vote for driver of the day, because Max Newt 7 managed to get himself from 2nd last to 3rd in half a lap. He got himself into the lead, capitalised on some chaos, and he has led and commanded this race with grace and elegance. He is 20.5 seconds ahead of El Rippo in 2nd position. This is an absolutely dominating performance from the Flying Finn here. He is showing exactly what he's made of, and he's showing why he's going to be leading this championship coming out of this race. He's been fortunate. Don't get me wrong, he's been fortunate. Ryan Skywalker, his championship contender, dropping out of the race through absolutely no fault of his own. But Max Newt 7 continues to impress in the lead of this race, bringing the gap between himself and El Ripo up a second in the time that I've been talking there alone. Incredible driving from Max Newt 7. Definitely my vote for the driver of the day. In the first race, he battled all the way from 8th to 3rd to 2nd. Had a fantastic battle with Ryan Skywalker, a clean battle, if you will, as well, which is what we love to see. And has demonstrated why, like I said, he's going to be leading this championship. Let's look back to his fellow Finn, Henry Comsey, because he's looking to make a move on Keith Holt. Going through the tunnel, they are side by side. Henry Comsey on the inside of Keith Holt. And as easy as you like, Keith Holt is dropping down into 5th position. Henry Comsey through into 4th. Still great racing from Keith Holt, and I have to say, all my praise goes out to Keith, because as much as I've highlighted him dropping down the order, he's a fantastic driver. He's faster than me, it must be said. He's much faster than me. And more importantly than that, he's a very fair and safe driver, and you don't see incidents with Keith on track. He drives well, he drives safe, he keeps the drivers honest. Look at this, he's not letting Henry Comsey get away with it. He's still within 0.2 of a second. And he might even pass Henry Comsey if Henry Comsey slips up here. And this is the advantage that Keith Holt has. He's such a consistent driver. Oh, Spitz Laminator almost getting involved in this battle. Fortunately, he doesn't cause too much chaos. He's going to almost battle with Keith Holt, but I think Keith is going to clear him away. But I think that incident has dropped Keith back from Henry Comsey a little bit. But yes, singing the praises of Keith Holt. Fantastic driver. A mainstay for the Track Titan Community Race Series. Almost comes to blows. Spitz Laminator there at the top of your shot. But he manages to hold it together and hold it to that 5th position. And here comes the battle for the podium. Henry Comsey. You know what? Another contender for driver of the day. After all the bad luck he's had, he took the win in the first race, and he's had some awful luck this race. But it doesn't take luck to make a move like that. Look at that picture-perfect switchback that was into Casino Corner. Bathtub back down the inside, tries a move that was never going to happen. Outbrakes himself, gets some oversteer, and Henry Comsey maintains that 3rd position ahead of Bathtub. And he's onto the podium, fighting back from 8th position. Like I said, it wasn't out the realm of possibilities, and these Finnish drivers just know how to kart, don't they? They really know how to drive these karts. They're doing fantastically. Ryan got launched. Ryan did get launched into the sea. Yeah, he just commenting on the stream here. So unfortunate for Ryan Skywalker there to be launched out of Tabak through no fault of his own. Drops out of this race. Max 7 haven't even clocked. This was the last lap. He's that far ahead. He's already crossed the line. Max 7, your winner for race 2. And what a dominant display that was. El Ripo finishing in 2nd position. A very honourable 2nd position. And I think, if I'm right in believing this, this could be a maiden podium this season for El Ripo. It is. El Ripo back after an extended break. He finishes in 2nd position. And this is fantastic. He's done fantastically all day long, and he finishes in 2nd position. He gets his reward. Really good driving from El Ripo there. Great to see him back. Henry Comsey, another fantastic drive from Henry Comsey here. Finishes in 3rd position, battled himself back all the way from 2 awful incidents that happened to him through no fault of his own. Bathtub in 4th. Keith Holt finishes in 5th position. Alex Heller comes down 6th. Le Bandit regains his name. Smells like we in 7th position. He got involved in those 2 incidents that Henry Comsey and Ryan Skywalker both got involved as well. Once again, through no fault of his own. That's a real shame for the English driver there, but he finishes in 7th, and he can't be too unhappy with that, all things considered. Max Mad Bull in 8th. That's 2 points to take home for himself there, and a respectable 2 points indeed. Baby Skywalker finishes in 9th, and Spitz Laminator gets himself on the board. He finishes in 10th out of 10 drivers. But he finished in 10th out of 11 last time round, so that's 2 points on the board for Spitz Laminator. And he's going to end this day in 20th position on the leaderboard, the overall standings. And you love to see it. Baby Skywalker finishing in 9th position. What a crazy pair of races that was. Wow. I have plenty to shout about and show my neighbours absolutely hate me. Let's have a chat with some of our winners here. Let's see if we can message these guys, make sure they're ready. Max Newt 7 and Henry Comsey, your race winners. Henry Comsey won the first race. let's talk to our first race winner. In one moment, Will. Excuse me. Right, here we go. I've dragged you both in because you can both control yourself. You're both done very well here today. Max Newt 7, race winner for race 2. Henry Comsey, race winner for race 1. Well done today, guys. Great races. Henry, that first race, you managed to hold on to the lead by the skin of your teeth. Did you have a little smile when you saw that Max and Ryan were having that epic battle behind you?
Not really. I was a little bit confused because I was just cruising alone because it wasn't fair that Max got spun and I was just like doing slow laps, so he could catch up, and then we called start racing because in today's race Max was the guy to beat. I think he was the best man today.
Wow, that's amazing sportsmanship from you there, Henry. Max, that's a high compliment from you, and well, I suppose you went to prove it. You really know how to drive this go-kart, Max. Have you had practice with these before?
No, just this week, and it was really fun to drive this,
Yeah,
especially here in Monaco.
You did really well, yeah. And do you both know this track quite well, Monaco?
Pretty good, yes.
Kinda.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you both did fantastically. You both got a race winner pop. Max, I'll come to you first about the first race and that fantastic battle you had with Ryan. That was great racing. What were you thinking when Ryan was side by side with you?
It was pretty close, many laps, and I just enjoy it. It was good racing.
It was really good racing to watch. I certainly enjoyed watching it. And then I'm going to come to Henry here. You were the unluckiest man on track in the second race. You did fantastically in the first race, and then the second race you were so unlucky to be involved in 2 incidents that weren't of your making. And we couldn't get the best shot of it. In that first incident that happened, it looked like you were on the inside and then suddenly everyone was on top of you. Was it just a Tabac corner being Tabac corner, I suppose?
No, I don't really know what's happened. People really not sure. Did they look to the mirrors? I think there was a lot of happening on the track, and it was pretty hectic because tight track and barriers are close. So it just was like too much and too little space.
Yeah. I think that's probably a good analysis of it. I think it's a difficult track to race at, even in these karts. And well, I suppose you're on the limit. You got super unlucky, but it has to be said, you both had great comebacks. Max, you got involved in an incident early on in that first race. You came back from 8th or 9th all the way to 2nd, and then Henry, you did this exact same in the second race. Really good comebacks. You did fantastic to just pick people off one by one. Who was the Henry first? Who was the hardest driver to pass today?
Max.
And Max, who was the hardest driver to pass today for you?
I don't really remember, but there was a few drivers that were really wide on the track.
Yeah, there was some drivers really defending you. I think they were keen to prove a point, as you are definitely going to be leading the championship coming out of this round, as Ryan didn't finish the second race there. So that's good news for you. Max and Henry, you're doing well to close up that gap between 2nd and 3rd. I've definitely said this stream, you're not out of this title fight. Henry, do you think you can still win the title?
Yeah, not really sure.
Oh, not so sure.
Not with this PC. I have seen this too many points lost because in the first race there was like I cut the what is called the chicane after tunnel. It was like 1 second freeze on my computer, and I lost like in the delta. I lost over a second on there, so it's
a real shame.
Not looking good, but I try.
Well, all you can do is your best. I am not counting you out yet. I still think you're in the championship fight. So it's good to see you win a race and get a podium, and likewise for you, Max, a win and a podium for the pair of you. So well done, guys. Great to speak to you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Well, we'll probably speak to you next week. See you later, guys.
See ya.
Right, there we go. Max67 and Max67 and Henry Comsey, your race winners for today. Crazy racing today in the 125 shifters. Lots of chaos, but good fun all around. And what a set of races that was to start this channel. This channel, especially for the community races. But it's fantastic to see the drivers all having fun and getting out on track. If you want to join us, you can do. If you head to the tracktitan.io and you can join the Discord through there. These races are open and free to everyone, and they are all streamed by myself and usually Spitz Laminator and Tom Jones. Well, that rounds out the day. Thanks for joining us. And next week we have... Let me check my notes. Next week we have the Maserati 250F 6-cylinder at Kialami. We're heading to South Africa. Ryan Skywalker's going to be happy with that, surely. We'll see if he can translate that onto on-track success. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.